Hello, I'm Anatole, and this is my review of Doom Patrol Season 1, Episode 1, titled Pilot, scored 9.0 on IMDb. It's a very good score, and very good cast. We have Brendan Fraser as Robot Man, and Timothy Dalton as Niles Calder, the Chief, aka the Chief. And so... Yeah, by my side you can tell I have an issue with the series. I enjoyed as a production, as an introduction, as a piece of entertainment, good. However, one recurring critique I have with these TV adaptations of comic book properties and the films is that I suspect the creatives behind these projects, the directors and the showrunners, I feel are not very familiar with the characters. And so they often make movies and TV shows which have changes to the characters or just write them out of character. And I'm a big fan of Doom Patrol, and most specifically with the run that Grant Morrison had on Doom Patrol. Grant Morrison is one of my favorite comic book writers. And normally I'm a little bit hesitant to judge the adaptation to the source material. Yeah, I have to consider a few things before I do that. Does it intend to be faithful? If it doesn't intend to be faithful, does it work by taking liberty with the original property? But the fact that this is pretty plainly a take on the Grant Morrison run on Doom Patrol, and there are a couple scenes from the comic book appear in the TV series, lead me to the decision that it is fair to bring in the original Grant Morrison take on these characters and then compare the two. And so Grant Morrison gave us a Doom Patrol of damaged individuals who were, apart from their appearance and from their superpowers, were normal people who maybe were damaged from trauma in the past. And the exception being the most human person in the group is the one who's the least human. That's Robot Man. Even though he can be kind of cynical and sarcastic, he's the one who is the emotional core of the group. And at the end of everything, they're just normal people. And the only reason that they are oddballs or outcasts is because society judged them as weird, not because they are truly weird. The TV show gives us morally compromised, flawed individuals with superpowers. So the reason that they are outcast is because they have some sort of character deficiency. They're self-centered, or they are psychotic, or they are egotistical, or they are cynical. And that's quite a different view from Grant Morrison's take. And in some ways, it makes them less relatable. And it also falls into this air that the DC Comics movie seems to have of being gloom and doom. The TV shows, not so much, but this and the Titans on the streaming platform DC Universe seem to go in the darker realm. And I think that the creator of the series, because he doesn't come from a comic book history, is perhaps that's the reason why these characters have been changed. And so the show's creator was Jeremy Carver. Previously, he was responsible for Supernatural on the CW and the sci-fi series Being Human. I see nothing there that leads me to believe he's a fan of comic books. The director of the episode was a cinematographer. This may have been his first directing gig, but he was a cinematographer on Smallville. He was a cinematographer on Arrow and The Flash. So Direction-wise, great. Someone who at least has great familiarity with these properties, even if he's not working in the realm of comic books. But the showrunner showed me that he has a concept that's maybe not suited for the character. So let me show you what I mean. I have on my Kindle here some examples from issue 19, which was the first issue that Grant Morrison wrote of Doom Patrol, where he showed us what these characters were going to be like. And they are scenes that were in the TV show, so you can see from the difference how these characters have been changed. And in the TV show, there's a scene where Robot Man bangs his head into the wall complaining that he can't feel, so in a way he's deficient. But in the comic book, there's quite a different point to that. And here, Cliff is talking to one of the people who's responsible for his creation, which is Magnus, the creator of the Metal Men. And he is telling him that he has been traumatized by events that have happened recently, and he just wants to give it all up. He feels there's no point because this being a superhero just leads to the death of people who do it. And then he goes on to say, "Me, how can I destroy myself? Watch. See? Cliff, for God's sake. Nothing. I can't feel anything." And he bangs his head into the wall some more, and then he yells, "I can't feel anything. Can't feel anything. Oh God, make it stop." So the irony is, please, make it stop. The irony is he really can feel anything. He's just guilty of not knowing himself well enough. He's so out of touch with his humanity that he can't recognize it when he has it. One sign of humanity is being able to empathize with the pain of others and also being able to recognize that in yourself. And so even though he is a brain in a robot's body, he still can feel. And we don't see that in the TV show. And then the second place where I feel the director has he missed the point of the characters is with Crazy Jane. And so we see Hammerhead, which is one of the more aggressive aspects of her split personality, but we in the comic book series we very rarely see that. And in the first issue we don't see that personality at all, and instead Jane is quite calm and is able to articulate feelings to Robot Man, and comes off as just being someone who's a hurt individual, but not necessarily a psychotic one. And we also see her doing the painting that's in the TV show. So again, that's a hint that they took from the comic book series. You can see her working on the painting there that ends up in the show, the pilot. And then she says, "What do normal people have in their lives? What do normal people have? You're asking the wrong person." And you see her breaking down. She's able to show some feelings and some remorse, and that she's dealing with trauma. We don't see that in the TV series. And then she says, "I've tried to be like them. I really have. But what happens when you just can't be strong anymore? What happens if you're weak? My painting's ruined. Everything's gone wrong." And then I think we see them just standing in the rain. So a hint of pathos that we don't see in the TV series. TV series just seems to be about wacky, zany mayhem with some pathos. So the tone is quite different in the TV series. I enjoyed it. Again, I enjoyed it. But these changes, although they appear small because they have to deal with character, anything about character is quite significant because it affects story, it affects how the viewers or the readers relate to the characters, it relates how the actors interpret those roles. So anything about character, any decision about character is part of the linchpin of the series. So in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm hoping that there will be a firm grasp on the characters, and that what I'm viewing now, what I see now about these deviations play into a longer arc for these characters, and that we do see some redemption. I'm just worried that the concept of redemption, the way that Grant Morrison viewed their redemption and the way that the showrunners are viewing their redemption is quite different. And so we're getting a different series, and I don't think they are similar. They're quite different because of because of the way that these two creatives have written these characters. And that's my review. So I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll join me again on this channel. That's all for now. Take care and be well. Goodbye. Hello, I'm Anatole, and this is my review of Doom Patrol Season 1, Episode 1 Pilot, which scored 9.0 on IMDb and has a great cast. Brendan Fraser as Robot Man, Cliff, Robot Man, Dr. Robot? Robot Man, Dr. Robot, Mr. Robot, Cliff Steele, Robot Man, it is Robot Man.